All right, what's going on, everybody? Here we are with another segment of IC's Fantasy Football, and we just completed our first week of fantasy football, and there was one big upset that I didn't see happening. I'm sure we know who we're talking, or who at least who I'm talking about. Um, there were some big time blowouts. There were some games that went right down to the wire, and we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it and see what happened. So the first game, and I think we got to start there. Gary versus AJ.
Yes, yes.
I made it very clear where I thought Gary was gonna be in this league. Um, I I did say he would go 4-9 at best, 3-10 at worst. So there are gonna be 3 to 4 victims. I just didn't think they'd happen this early. I'm, I'm just being honest.
And the funny thing about it is, the victim that it was, I'm so happy it lost.
I think I think a lot of people are happy. So Gary went ahead and had the biggest blowout win. He smacked AJ 179-107. Like, it got so bad that AJ waved the white flag in the group. Like, he wanted no more.
Yes.
So, and
because Gary kept piling on.
yeah, Gary didn't stop. And I mean, Russell Wilson balled out. Darius Slayton had it. I mean, he nailed everybody week one. He made us all look, or at least made me look like a fool. I got no problem. It's gonna happen. But Gary, good job getting your first win. AJ, now that I look at your team, you're gonna struggle to get a win, AJ.
I tried to tell you that. I didn't like his roster to begin with.
Yeah, AJ's hurting right now. AJ's hurting. All right, so moving on, we had another convincing win. Mike against Ed. Mike's actually won 5 straight against Ed, and he had a 47-point win. I mean, Mike's just becoming an automatic L in the regular season. Let's be honest. Like, the guy doesn't lose in the regular season, dating back to last year.
Well, I'm not going to crown him. You want to crown him?
Oh, no, I'm not crowning him, but I'm just saying the guy's a force in the regular season.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
And another thing, this is another loss that I was glad it happened because both of these guys that we just spoke about are in my division.
That's very true. That gives you a leg up going into week 2, and
yes,
two early losses going on today. But Mike was solid from start to finish.
Yeah, he had a lot of starters do very well this week, which is the key. You know, you want multiple starters scoring double figures at least.
And he had high double figures.
Yes, high double figures. So that is 9 times out of 10, that's a win.
Oh yeah, indeed. In a surprising matchup, Khalil took care of Joe.
Well, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because we talked about Joe, aka Joey Pressure. With his draft, with his keepers, and his keepers came to bite him.
They did. I mean, I wish no injury on anybody, but losing your keeper for the season in Marlon Mack, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, very tough. Very tough. And then his second round pick went down.
Yep.
He's now IR for 3 weeks, which also helps me because I played him this week.
Yeah, you're facing a real depleted team by Joe, and actually I think he lost Devontae Parker as well.
Yes, and actually Joe is calling me as we speak, but I'm gonna decline and call him back.
Yes,
once this is over.
Because I'm sure he's gonna actually call you back with a video.
Right.
So, but Khalil had some good players. He made some pickups. I mean, the best pickup he did was getting Naeem Hines. That was a solid pickup for him. And
Well, he drafted him.
did he?
Yeah, that was part of the best player available.
Oh, my bad. I actually thought he went and claimed them off of waivers. Okay, my
No,
bad. All right.
He actually picked him up. He claimed he went and got, was it Mitchell Trubisky?
Ah, yeah, oh, yeah. That we should have figured. Yeah, he went and got. And he actually did. He start Trubisky?
He sure did.
He sure. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So good job starting Trubisky. We kind of saw that, but hey, Khalil starts off on the right foot, and he's 1-0. So
Yeah, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Let's see if he can keep it going.
definitely. Let's jump to you and Griggs. You got away with one. You got away with one.
Well, you know, you have to have a few of those every year. You
Yes.
know,
Oh yeah. Indeed. And
you have to. And you know, I had Mike Thomas go down.
yep.
James Conner, I hate you.
I told you, man. Connor can't stay healthy. Hey, but a big waiver wire pickup. You did go out and get Snell.
Yes, I had Benny Snell.
Yeah. So
I'm fine with Connor and having both Connor and Benny Snell.
yeah.
So I'm in a good spot.
Yeah.
You know, I like my matchup with Joe this week.
Yeah, I don't think you should run into too much trouble with him. But not for nothing. Griggs looked very solid his first week. I think that was, even though he lost, that was a good sign for Griggs that, you know, it looks like he's got his shit together, his team produced, and I think he'll bounce back.
Yeah, he has a solid team, man.
Mhm.
Solid team. AJ Brown didn't give him the production that he was hoping for, but
Yeah.
you know that comes with time.
Yep.
You know, we all know that he's still the Titans' #1 receiver.
Indeed. So, I thought the best game of the week was Phil and Andres.
Yes, it came down to the last 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I think if I recall right, I think Yahoo had Andres pegged as like almost like a 15 or 16 point underdog.
Yes.
And I told Phil I loved everybody's matchup that Andre was going up against. He had, everybody. Josh Jacobs went wild. So
Josh Allen had a good game too.
Allen had, and not for nothing. If you would have told me that both Gallup and Cup were going to combine for 16 points, I would have said no way. No way.
He
And
should have won the game.
Yep. And sometimes that's the way it goes. And Phil survived by the skin of his teeth. Barkley somehow got points against Pittsburgh, and
Barkley's going to struggle this year.
I think so. It's looking tough. But it's only week one.
Only week one.
Yeah.
Only week one.
So, and then in a rematch of last year's championship game was me against Chris. I eked out a victory at the very end.
But you survived. You got away with one because he left Cortland Sutton in the starting lineup.
Yep.
Why didn't you change your roster, Chris? I hope you watch this. I hope you see this, Chris, because you gave away a game.
Yeah, I honestly thought, like, I think Sutton came up as, like, highly questionable, like, Friday or Saturday. And I actually thought he was going to go with Hawkinson. Had he gone with anybody on his bench, I lose. Anybody.
Anybody. It
Yeah.
didn't matter who.
Yep, anybody.
But you had, when somebody's questionable for Monday night,
Yeah,
you can't take the chance.
yep. So, and I at least thought he was going to go try to pick somebody up. Even if he picked somebody up for Monday night, I still would have lost.
Right.
So, but I stole a victory. I'll gladly take it.
Of course you will.
Yeah. Oh, I have to. I usually, you know me, I'm horrible in the regular season. So I'm barely above 500 for my career in the regular season. So I'll gladly take a win.
Yes, sir.
But all right, so that pretty much wrapped up week one. And now we're gonna go into the week two matchups. Right off the bat, you got Mike versus AJ.
This is another matchup that warms my heart.
Yeah.
Because AJ's going down this week.
You know what? But you know what's weird is Yahoo has AJ pegged for the victory.
Do they?
I mean, it's by .16, but they've got AJ as the favorite going up against Mike this week.
Well, let's hope for a good game.
Yes.
But again, AJ's in my division.
So
I hope he drowns.
You're hoping for a loss, yes. Actually, as I'm looking at it, all these games are decided by like 5 points or fewer. Every one. You got Phil going up against Chris this week.
That should be a good matchup.
That's going to be a good.
As long as Chris feels a full team.
He's gonna need to because I need Phil to get a loss. Phil's team's putting up some points, so I need Phil to get a loss. He's in my division. I need him to get a loss.
Yes.
And Phil is actually the favorite in that game, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick Chris to knock off Phil this week. I'm gonna pick Chris. I'm gonna pick Chris to knock him off.
Okay, that's not bold.
Yeah.
But we will see.
Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and take Chris. And then we go ahead and we go to Ed versus Khalil.
Really? Ed plays Khalil this week.
Ed plays Khalil this week. Ed is actually favored to win over Khalil.
I would assume that as well. Ed has a really good team, although Khalil's team is solid. Mm-hmm. But I think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close too. But I do think that Ed pulls out the win. I'm going to pick Ed this week to go ahead and get the W. I play Gary, and
this is what you wanted.
You know what? It's really not. But I am going to let Gary know that his losing streak is going to start this week. So his road to 10 losses starts here in week 2.
Well, I tell you one thing, he isn't going to back down.
He's not. And actually, you know what's funny is, I don't know if you follow baseball, but the Seattle-San Francisco game got postponed. So I wonder if the Seattle-New England game is going to get moved to New England for Sunday night because of all the fires that are taking place in California.
But Seattle is in Washington.
Yeah, but that's like all the smoke was going up there, and they actually canceled the baseball game yesterday because they said the air quality wasn't good. So they actually postponed the game.
That's in San Francisco, though.
No, that was in Seattle.
Oh, okay.
That's why I thought that was crazy.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong, but I could have sworn the game was in Seattle. Because I was like, why are they canceling it in Seattle? But
no, because we got to fact check that.
Yes, we do, but I could swear that it was. But it would be interesting if that game moved to New England for Sunday night. But in that game, not for nothing, I am picking myself to go ahead and knock off Gary. Sorry, Gary, I can't pick you. I will not pick you, but it will be me. We got Griggs going up against Andres. Both these teams looking for a win.
Yeah, you know when you 0-1, you gotta get off to a good start.
Yeah.
Especially in week 2. So one of these guys
gotta come away with a W.
Really upset at the end of this week.
Yeah, because once you start going 0-2, you start fishing for that first W. You kind of start to get desperate, and that's when bad stuff can happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, I think actually Andres bounces back this week. I'm gonna go with Andre over Griggs this week. And they actually got Griggs favored by 1.5 points.
So Griggs continues his losing streak.
So yeah, unfortunately, I think Griggs continues his losing streak. Yeah. So sorry, Griggs, but there's
Sorry,
got to be a
Griggs.
loser. Yeah, there's got to be a loser. And then here we go. We got you going up against Joe.
This is personal. This is personal. And might I add that he just called me, so I'm very interested in hearing what he has to say.
Maybe he's calling to make a last minute deal before the start of the week.
Yes. I don't know what the reason is, but I'm gonna find out. But I owe him. I mean, I own him,
You
but
do.
I still owe him because his mouth, his DJing music, just overall, I just really want to stump a mud hole in him.
Yep. And not for nothing, but Joe in our fantasy league lifetime is 0-6 against you.
I own him. I own him,
So
and I'm gonna rub that in.
Joe's 0-6. He's looking for that first W against you, and with a depleted team, it's not looking good for Joe this week. I'm just being honest. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. So I actually am gonna go ahead and I mean you are the favorite going in. He doesn't have a team set. I hate the fact that he does the same thing I do, but I don't even think it matters. I do think you're a double-digit point favorite to beat him, and I think you do knock him off by double digits easily. So
That's the plan.
and I hope so because he's in my division. So if we can keep him in the cellar, let's go ahead and keep him down there.
Right.
So, but all right. So that's pretty much a recap of week 1 going into week 2. We'll come back at the end of this week and see how everything turned out.
All right, man. Salute.
Yes, man. Take care, bro.
All right.